A welterweight bout here. Neil Magny coming in at minus 152. Phil Rowe coming in at plus 152. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 155 for the over, plus 155 for the under. Phil Rowe coming in 32 years old for Phil Rowe, 35 years old for Neil Magny. Both guys are like near or mirror image of each other. 6'3", 80-inch reach, a half-inch reach advantage for Phil Rowe. So make sure you take that half inch into account because it could play a big role in this one. But I gotta say, I'm kind of torn on this one because you got like the guy that's been there for a while, forever, Neil Magny. And he's so seasoned, but the upside is like there's very little upside for him because like you know what he is. And he's probably not going to knock you out with big punches. He's probably not going to like submit you with some crazy stuff. Like he's just the base fighter. Like if you made a fighter to last that long, 30 fights in the UFC, you'd probably make that. Yeah. And he's got the frame that is always tough to deal with. But Phil Rowe has a good frame too, and maybe more upside on Phil Rowe's in Phil Rowe's corner because he has the finishing ability. He's never won a fight by decision. But the level of competition is still, I question it. Like the last fight against Nico Price, he nearly got finished and then came back and finished Nico Price. And then the other wins in the UFC, Jason Witt has zero chin, and it took him 2 rounds to knock him out. And then Orion Kosi, who got cut too. So 2 guys that got cut, and then Nico Price, who had like bad knee surgery before that. And look, he had fought with knee sleeves. So I'm like, what version of Nico Price is that he's fighting? And he still went 3 rounds with him. But like you watch him fight, he looks like super talented. But he is 32 years old. So I'm like, is this the prime of his career? Is he still getting better? What's the deal with him? But Neil Magny is the piece that we all know pretty well at this point. And in this spot, I think the experience of Neil Magny is probably going to be able to be enough like to win the fight because the fight IQ will be there. I just think as long as he doesn't get finished, I think he wins. What do you think?
Yeah, Magny just can't get knocked out. He hasn't been knocked out in 5 years too. So, and he's fought guys like Shavkat who hit hard, Gilbert Burns who hit hard. Although those guys, implemented their grappling and got it to the ground and found the sub. I don't see Phil Rowe doing that in the least bit. Like I can't. I think that Phil Rowe is going to have to get a knockout because if you don't, Neil Magny's going to be in your face the whole time. He's going to land some shots. He's going to rack up points. And if he gets you to the ground, he's super, super underrated on the ground. Maybe he's not going to go out there and get these crazy submissions, but he's going to ride you until you get tired. And he's going to implement that ground game that has been solid against high level fighters for a long time. Yeah, I know like Gilbert Burns subbed him and Shavkat subbed him. But I mean, at the end of the day, Philip Rowe is nowhere near either of those guys, in my opinion. Neil Magny, how many fights does he even have in the UFC? It's a load of fights, and he's got a ton of wins. He's seen every single style there possibly is to fight. I don't know. I don't want to say this is too soon for Phil Rowe because he just fought Nico Price, who's a great fighter, and knocked him out in the 3rd. But if he gets a little bit tired in this fight, Magny's going to start doing what he wants. Magny's going to get the fight to the ground. And from there, I just don't see Phil Rowe having a great shot as the fight goes on. So if you're Phil, go get it done in the first round and a half. If not, I can see Magny start taking over like he does in the past. So my pick, I'm gonna go with Neil Magny here. I can see this kind of being a little trappy line, like making you think the guy who just got finished by Gilbert, by Shavkat not long ago, is minus 150. It looks like tremendous value on Phil Rowe. But Magny's a veteran, and he's a pretty good veteran at that. So I think Magny could be the play.
Yeah, he's never a sexy pick, but
no.
He's won 20 fights in the UFC. It's going to be his 30th going in here. So 30th anniversary of the UFC, 30th win, or not, or 30th fight, 21st win for Neil Magny. I'm going to go with him as well.
I think you could play Phil Rowe knockout prop as a little hedge, though, and be fine.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Although, I mean, he's got some decent submissions too, and Magny's been getting submitted as of recently, but maybe not at that high level.
I was gonna say, yeah, I just think the level. I just don't know if he could go out there and do that to a Magny, but we'll see. It's a fun fight.
Unless it was a club and sub. Could be
Right.
that. Could be that. So